Hey, 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 welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. And tonight we are going to give someone their flowers while they are standing, and that's Sue Duarte. She is an amazing woman and doing many, many things and actually giving us, us Cape Verdeans, Cabo Verdeans all over the world. She has given us something to look up to and be inspired. So I came across this young lady through Paris, who actually has given me so many different guests, and so I cannot wait to have a conversation with this special lady and a wonderful woman. And be aware, everyone, that we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Um, just punch in the Really Charlie podcast, and also we have another podcast with just sometimes you have to lose yourself. You go on any of those YouTube channels, you'll be able to get us and go from there. So, what's going on? How you doing?
Hello, good evening, Charlie. Thank you
This
for
is this
having me.
something special. I am so glad that I am able to interview you and talk to you about your life and everything that you're doing. It's real important that we try to mentor people in front of us, around us, all over the world, to make the world a better place. Things are going on kind of cuckoo all over the place, but when somebody like you is doing the things you're doing in film and everything, I truly appreciate it. And I don't want to sell you short on this podcast because you have a great bio, with film and everything, and I truly want to talk to you about that. All right.
Okay.
Um, so tell me, what are you doing now? Well, actually, what inspired you to get involved in the many things that you're doing, like film and the Cape Verdean culture and heritage? What inspired you to do all that?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone that is watching. I know I have a few friends that are very excited to have me here and to know that I'm here, and they sent me messages saying that they really know your podcast and they follow, so they were very excited that I was coming here.
Oh,
And so I
nice.
want to give a shout out to everyone and to thank you once again for having me. Um, I think that's a very good question because I feel like at first I would go for an answer, but thinking it, thinking about it like with a little bit of more attention,
Hmm.
I would say that it all comes from the same place. Like when people ask me, "Oh, you do a little bit of this, you do a little bit of that, you do," you have many different interests, and why is it so diverse? But from my perspective, I feel that it's one thing only. It's just me experiencing myself and
Hmm.
experiencing my all my range, you know, and to try to connect, to try to connect to my reality, my issues, my culture,
Hmm.
my people, and my heritage, most and foremost. I'm very much a person that was all my interests are rooted in my relationship with my grandfather, right? I
Mm.
was raised by my grandparents, and they both compose a lot of my yin and my yang, my feminine
Yep.
and my masculine energy. And so I can say that most of my feminine energy comes from my grandfather, and most of my male energy comes from my grandmother. Actually, it's opposites. And my grandfather was a man of many interests. himself. You know, he worked in the government. He worked with all this diplomatic object,
Hmm.
and at the same time, he was a writer. He was a painter. He was a thinker. He was curious about everything in the world. He would talk about the birds he saw in the woods in Guinea, the same way he would talk about a movie, about the same way he would cry reading a poetry, and also always being sure that he would be as involved in the subject that he was interested in. So I think that's where all my inspiration and all my guidance comes from.
That's amazing. It's and that usually starts right when you're kind of hanging out and you're real young, sitting with them, and there's
Yes.
an age gap. So as you're a young lady sitting down with both of them, you you kind of got to get involved in some of the adult stuff, right? Because it's you and them most of the time
Yes.
hanging out. And so when they do have conversation talking about many things that were probably, you know, above you or not ready for you to kind of understand, you know, only because you were probably a younger lady. And then all of a sudden, now you're saying things in front of adults that they don't expect you to kind of know anything about. And that's the one thing I like about being raised by, you know, older people because your intellect builds real quick.
Hmm.
Um, and, uh, and that's very nice. Um, so you had talked about being overseas in different parts of the world. Um, can you share some of those experiences with us?
Yeah, sure. I lived in well, my first childhood with my grandparents was in Santiago in Praia,
Mm,
and then in a second moment I moved to São Vicente and stayed there until my late teenage years to live with my mother. And then after that, I went back to my grandparents. Uh, but they, at this moment, they were already outside of Cape Verde. They were in Portugal because my
mm,
grandfather got sick, so he had to have specific treatment. So they had to move out of the country because of that. So on my late teens, I moved back with them. And so I spent a few years in Portugal. After that, I spent some time in Belgium. Then I spent some time in the US. And after that, I went back to Cape Verde, Cabo Verde. And
mm-hmm,
then on around my 30s, I came to Brazil. That's where I am at this moment.
mm-hmm.
I stayed here for a few years. Then I went back to Cape Verde, and then I came back here to
Wow,
Brazil.
that's special. That's a blessing in itself, you know, just to see different things and different cultures and just basically learn the world because of all those continents and all those different countries. There's an abundance of diversity with different people coming in and out of all the areas of the world, and that's one thing I like about it. You mentioned about your grandfather and some poetry, and that's what I do on a daily basis. I just took on some songwriting and been writing different songs and trying to get that um, going. It's for me, it's something that allows me to vent, you know, and express
Yes.
myself and or even kind of um, I might visualize something or see something going on, and then I just write about it. Just to kind of it's a resolve for me. It's a definitely it's and I'm having fun doing it. Actually, I am. Um, over the years,
I think that's so important, because we don't consider the creativity as a tool of managing the world.
hmm
We always think that being artistic or that arts are for artists and that's it. When you don't need to have that approach to it. Like I can be artistic and still be, I don't know, a lawyer,
hmm
but also I can play an instrument, I can paint, because it is other ways of expression and also therapeutical, and it's so important. It's just another way of being in the world. So I think that's very important to put emphasis in, because some people don't explore that just because they won't get successful with that. That's the
hmm
least important thing. The important thing is for you to really, express yourself and explore, and to experience the pleasure of being artistic.
Yes, it is very important because if you're doing things on a constant basis that relate to your job, your profession, um, that also, to me, adds stress to your life. And so doing other things is very, very important to just get away from some of the things you do. And so, you know, I did some writing today that was perfect for me. It was a quiet house. Excuse me. And so I just started thinking about different things, and I was like, all right, let me write, let me do this, let me do that. And but it's so perfect when when things are just quiet. I actually which I want to get back to you. With all your different travels and expertise, and are you thinking about writing a book?
I think about writing a book, but I think I have a children's book that I'm working on,
Oh,
that is
nice.
actually based on my grandfather's everything that I do will end up being regarding my grandfather. That's
Mm,
that's something, that I cannot even like try to uh, you know, get around with it, because
yeah.
it is what it is. I have a short movie. It is about my relationship with my grandfather.
Mm,
All the subjects that really interests me are regarding, or things that I knew that were things that he cared for. And my children's book that eventually I want to publish, I'm about to finish it.
good,
I'm
good.
trying to find actually a publisher, and also the drawing part of it, that I still trying to figure it out. It is about it is based on the stories that my grandfather used to tell me when I was little.
hmm
My grandfather used to travel a lot, and so he made up some characters, and the story would always be based on the place that he just came from a trip.
Wow.
So it was a way of telling me about his trip, but it would be inside of the story that he would tell me, with the characters that were always the same characters.
I love
So
that.
I know. And that's and it's something very specific, like you were saying that you like to have that relationship with the creativity, and also with children and being raised by older people. I think that it is a very specific way of bonding,
Mm,
because you can love kids. I have kids myself. I have a daughter and a son, and we bond and we are connected, and that's doubtless, right? There is no doubt in
yes.
that. But there's a specific way that sometimes you connect with older people, that it's such a validation way, like
hmm
they are really interested in spending time with you. you know
Yes.
so I think that's what makes it different. Like when you are raised by older people that are always calling you and including you and validating you, and and sharing with you without underestimating your abilities, it can be very reassuring
Yes.
and very empowering, actually, not for you to be more or to think of yourself as more, but whatever it is that you have, you are very sure of it. You get to be very sure of yourself.
Exactly. Um, it's very it's some special moments with a lot of elders in my family, and it's but that was mainly just me kind of listening to them, and but when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of questions, right? I just listened.
Yes.
Um, and now that some of them have gone, I have so many questions now, especially with
Mhm.
ancestry and um, family family things, especially some of the things that family in Cabo Verde. I like to
Mhm.
hear some of those things in their words,
Yes.
and how and what they felt and what they seen and how it's so anyways, I build the ancestry. I try to pay attention to that as much as I can because I don't want my kids to wonder or not have some answers of what's going on in life and how their family tree grew. I want to make sure that they have it accessible to them, and um, and that's happening. So, um,
That's very
what?
common, the people that I talk to from my Kriolu classes that I offer.
Mm,
Um, I started it like a few years ago. I started actually in a school, online language school that during the pandemic started online, and then they
mm,
invited me to give Creole classes. And like everyone that comes to me for the classes, now I give myself the classes. I'm not no I only stayed in that school for like a month, but then
mm,
I didn't think that they were very whatever. It
yes,
didn't interest me to continue with them, and so I started to do it by myself. And it's been like a few years already, and 100% of people that reaches out are always in this pursuit of connection to the ancestry,
yes. It's
and that's very important.
I I have to kind of get a refresher and do some more because we did it like for six to 8 weeks, and it was very nice that to hear some of the words and so last week I was speaking to Alexandra in the bar. It was, and she wanted me to speak Creole, and I couldn't tell her. I couldn't say anything. It was very hard, especially sometimes with the pronunciation and stuff like that. But what it did tell me is that all right, we got to sign up again and speak with Jaffa Tavaz and sit with her and do our classes or even speak with you and sign up because it's I think that some of the elders, American born elders, they say, well, I used to know it when I was younger, but I totally forgot about it. And that's the common thread. But
Yes.
the reason why you forgot about it is because you didn't speak it. You didn't make it a form of communication. And I know that. So I have to make it a form of communication so that I pick up the language a whole lot better and faster. So
Yeah, I think that if you keep it present, I see many students that, like, I think that for some people, it will work better if they will be more successful learning Criollo if they have group classes. I've seen
Yeah.
it happening. But I myself, I only give classes one on one because I feel like it is a specific way of you having the classes, and also for the class to be adjusted to you and for what you already know and with your
Mm,
own references, so I can make it personal for you. I
I
think
like
it
that.
is because you're not learning a language. It's not about the
Mm,
language only. It's way more. You're connecting with all your family history. You're connecting to with your childhood memories. So it can be very intimate, and I think it is a very sensitive subject for it to be in group,
mm,
because in group people behave differently, and you feel. I did it because of me. I wouldn't
mm.
feel that much comfortable. I would prefer to have one on one. I would prefer to have like content adjusted to myself,
Yes.
and so I feel like I I would do it in a way that it would thinking about what I would prefer. You see,
Yeah.
because
I,
when you're talking with someone about your childhood memories, a group of people get to be like competitive, who's learning faster and all, and I
mhm.
do not engage in that. So
I
I
get it.
rather like a slow paced kind of class, but it is
I
very common to find how much people want to connect to ancestry. So I think it's very important also. And I've talked with that with other Creole teachers, that it is important to integrate in the content the Cape Verdean history, and
mhm.
not only the of the people, but also of the language that all come together. It's one whole thing, right? So you can.
Mm,
I don't feel like I can talk about Kriolu as a language without talking about the people that build it throughout the centuries, and without talking about the mood and the specificity of the way our people um, is. It's a very
mhm.
specific type of people. We have a very specific type of culture that reflects itself in the language, and the way
Yes.
that we approach things, and the way that we behave, and the way that we thrive, and the way that we dream. So it's very ours. So I think it is important to pursue that. Many students can sometimes get frustrated because they have like 3 months to go to
Mhm.
Cape Verde, and they really want to learn the language for them to get there and speak, and like also to have a realistic approach on your expectations, because it's a language with a different nature. It comes from an African
Mhm.
language matrix, and the logic of it is different. The way it builds itself is different, and so the way that you assemble the words is also different. So it's
Yes.
very important for people not to associate it with Portuguese, because it has very little to do with Portuguese. We can use some Portuguese words, but the way that the sentences are built, the way that we use the verbs, the way that we
Mhm.
make reference to time, to past and future, all that is of African nature, like
Yes.
we are,
Mhm.
right? So, as much it's the same thing with the people as it is with the language. The same way that we are Africans, that has that presence of the Portuguese invasion, right? So
Mhm.
they invaded our existence in a way, the same way that, but we make use of that at the same time.
Yes.
In the language, we do the same. We make use of the vocabulary of the 15th century Portuguese, but the way that we assemble the words, the way that we work with the verbs, the way we talk about numbers, the way we talk about the plural, and all that, that's based in the African matrix that we belong to. So it is a beautiful language to learn, but it will take you some time, It will take you some time, and that's okay.
Yes. It's I I love the way you explained it. It's so important because people, there's so many people that will look and review this and um and we create some little clips out of all this. And that conversation that you just said, it's so important that becomes one of the clips out of this podcast. And so I like how this studio this program creates the different clips, and then later on I share them, and that you can use them, I can use them, and they become very, very popular. And every clip that comes out of this podcast, every single one of them, has over 1,000 views or 1,000 likes,
Oh,
and so it does a lot. It's so important.
it
Um,
is important for people to know, Cape Verdean descendants. I learned so much from them. I started with the Kriolu classes to support myself, of course, because I was during the pandemic. I got out, I lost my job, and I was just like, my son was just like born like a couple of months after that, and I really
mhm.
needed the job. And when I got it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so not prepared for this. Like, as
Wow.
much as I can be a Criollo speaking person, it doesn't
Hmm.
mean that I know Criollo enough to teach it. Hmm?
Yes.
Well, those are separate things. And when I started, I ended up researching and I ended up studying and also like going for people, to learn it. And for me it is very important to have that present, because it is it is important to know that you are Cape Verdean regardless. It is a matrix of
Yes.
culture. Many people come to a class and they say, oh, I didn't learn Criollo with my parents because my grandparents were the ones that came from Cabo Verde, and now we lost touch with the language. But then during class, they start to remember.
Hmm.
When you start to listen to it, oh, wait, I remember my grandmother saying this. I was in the kitchen, and they start to unlock memories of their childhood. That's why it's so important to have one on one classes again, you see, because you have the time to process all these informations and unlocking all these memories that sometimes can be like something that it's in your blood. So it's very deep and very intimate, and it's very beautiful to be part of it and to be able to experience that. So many stories of so many Cape Verdean descendants, especially in the US. I have people also in Europe, but most come from the US. So it's very nourishing.
Yes. I like that. That was 5 stars on your part. That conversation. I like that. Thank you for doing that. It's real. That was nice and easy and very captivating. Um, what are you doing now? What's going on in your life, and as far as your professionalism, and what are you doing professionally to at this point right now?
Well, I have a few things going on at this moment. I'm in São Paulo. Mm. I'm in in a moment that I'm about to in 2 months I'll finish my degree, and so I'm really, what is the word in English when you're like swamped? I think,
Oh,
is it swamped?
overwhelmed,
Oh
overwhelmed.
yes, overwhelmed. I
Yeah.
think that's perfect. Overwhelmed with it because of my research for
Mm.
my final paper.
Wow.
I'm in that. I'm also finishing details of online art gallery that I'm doing in partnership with a very, very, very close mother that that life brought to me. That is
Nice.
Saber Carr. She's a Cape Verdean descendant, and she lives in Vegas. And
Wow.
she's been more than a mother, way more than a mother to me. And
Wow.
me and her, we came up with this idea of making this online art gallery store, would also have Cape Verdean news and tips, and it's a website that will have especially everything around Cape Verdean culture. So we are about to open it. It's already available if someone wants to visit. We are still working on it, but it's Casa Crioula,
Mm,
and we are releasing it. So I'm between that. I work. I still do my classes. I'm doing my research now for my degree, and I'm releasing alongside with Sabra this online art gallery,
mhm.
and starting to work also on my next short movie that I'm thinking that by the mid 2026 it will be done.
That's very nice. There's one thing, without you asking, I'm going to continue to support everything you do. The website, with Miss Carr, I actually have some friends in close people that are from New Bedford that are in Vegas now, and so maybe I can get them connected with her and actually,
She's an
uh,
amazing human being.
yeah, yeah, that's I'd like to meet her. It's and it which it kind of leads to this question right now. As a guest here, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Who I would like to see
Yeah, as a
in the
guest here
podcast.
on this podcast. Yes.
I think that in a first moment, I would say my brother,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
not not because of being my brother,
Yeah.
not only, but because I really admire my brother. You know, my youngest brother. He's a guy that has been doing an amazing job in Cape Verde.
Mm,
He works for the Olympic Committee,
very nice.
and with all these achievements that the gold medal, that it wasn't the gold medal, it felt like the gold medal, but I think
Mm-hmm.
it was silver medal that we got at the Olympics 1 or 2 years ago, in boxing, I think.
Uh-huh.
And also all the effort that he puts into the sports and the youth, and it's been something that he's been doing his whole life. My brother, he's he got a scholarship to study in China,
Mm,
and so he went to China and he studied engineering, but he was so obsessed with sports, especially soccer, that
yes.
while he was in China, he opened a soccer school. So he had the school of all these little Chinese kids like playing
Mm-hmm.
soccer, and he would train them.
Yes.
And then when he got back, he was really very into sports, that now he has this very important job at the Olympic Committee, and he's been doing a great job. And I really honor him and I really respect him because it changes people's lives, you know.
Yeah. Sure does.
So I would say him, and I think I would say Diltino Ferreira.
Mm,
Diltino Ferreira he's a linguistic teacher. I learned so much from him, and he's one of my main references regarding Kriolu, and I really respect the work that he does and the way that he looks at Kriolu as a language, as
Hmm.
a source of culture and such an important issue for our culture and for our community. So I think that Diltino would be like also a great guest, and he's fluent in English, and he will be a great person for you to talk to, especially regarding Kriolu, because he knows what he's talking about. All that I know, I learned mostly from him. So he's a big reference for me too regarding language.
I totally appreciate that. If you can, please send those names to me through
Of course.
Messenger or an email, just so I can reach out to them. I'm gonna have, well, this current year I'll have maybe one one more guest, and then I'm gonna take a break off. I'm gonna take a break for about 4 weeks because people are too busy this time of year. So I
Yes,
don't want
that's
to. I just don't want to set up something and then we have to stop or break or postpone it. So I'm gonna wait until January and then I'll pick it up and do it every week like I have been since the pandemic. And it's so interesting that you mentioned that and how it's got you doing different things. Well, that was the time in the when this podcast was created is during the pandemic to actually just I needed something to do and so the podcast didn't seem like it was the right thing for me. And here we are in 2025, turning into 2026, and we're still here. So,
I kind of lost track of time. Like a few weeks ago, someone was like, "Oh, so how long have you been doing this and that?" I'm like, "Oh, for 2 or 3 years." I'm like, "No, wait, it's been like 6 years already." And I'm like, "No, it was if my son, my youngest son, that is going to turn 6 now, he was just out of my belly, so
yeah,
it's almost 6 years." So I was like, "Oh, 2, 3 years ago." The
hmm,
pandemic really messed up my time reference for sure,
yeah, it
but
sure
it
did.
did happen. It did happen though, and it's still here. You know that that presence. You know, because I was fortunate enough that pandemic uh, happened while I was living in a farm. I was on the countryside, so
Mm,
I was very blessed to be on the open, right? We had all this space and not too far from the city. So it was okay with internet
yeah,
connection and delivery and all that. And my grandmother was with me because she came to Brazil for my son's delivery. And so she ended up staying a long time here also because of the pandemic. So that was okay.
very nice. Um, Paulo Paris is on the screen, and he said, "I wished I were logged in earlier." Well,
Hello, Paolo.
yeah, we want to thank you for one introducing us and bringing this podcast to light, Paul. And I like what he does. He just kind of he's always observant and always trying to highlight something. And but when it comes to people, he refers them to me, and I jump on it because so far he's batting 1,000. Everyone he's introduced to me to come on the podcast has been excellent, and actually has been great for my podcast. So I here and live on the Really Charlie podcast, I want to say thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. And speaking of ancestry, he's on
I
my ancestry. So
I see him. I see Paulo always very interested and always very much paying attention to everything that concerns Cabo Verde. We really need that. You know, we do need that the Cabo Verdean diaspora doesn't feel that much of a diaspora and feels more part of it, so
mm,
um, we can make better decisions politically and socially, especially because most of the population is abroad. So
mm,
we could interfere and influence way more than what we do. So it is important to be understanding the reality of our country and of our culture, and to go and be more participant. It is important to have that, especially for who, who feels that has something to contribute. And
Hmm.
I see Paulo in that. I see many other Cape Verdean descendants also doing that effort, like yourself and everyone. There's a lot of people to contribute, and we just need like to get closer and to be more active inside of our community.
Totally agree. Um, it's one thing I want to do is I want to send you a T-shirt, the Really Charlie
Oh, I would like
podcast.
that. I'm a very
So,
much a
yeah,
t-shirt
so
person.
you can kind of pose wherever you're at, and it's definitely location is
Oh, for sure, Saber will bring it to me because soon she will be coming, I hope. So she
oh,
can bring
okay,
it to me. That would be nice. I can send it, you can send it to her, and she will bring it to me for sure.
all right, I'll do that. I'll do that. The amazing thing about this podcast is I'm connecting with so many people, and it's crazy when total strangers say, "Hey, I like your podcast," and I'm like, I don't know that, but the social media has been great to me, and so I want to keep on doing this as long as I can. I'm looking to actually expand to maybe doing more live programming, live shows on Pandora, iHeart, and Spotify. So looking to do that. Once I get enough information on how to set it up and get it done, then I'll be doing that more often also.
Also because we never know who's listening, you never
Hmm.
know whose heart you're gonna touch. And
Yeah,
that's always, that's a big responsibility and also a big honor. It's a big
yeah,
honor to be able to reach out to so many, and to bring the right message through. So I think that's the main goal. And from what I've seen of your podcasts, you're doing that, and that's
thank
very
you.
important.
Thank you. That means a lot. Um, I actually want to uh, I'm looking to the other podcast I'm on. It's sometimes you got to lose yourself, and it's with myself and Marvin Speller. And on that podcast, we talk about love and grief and how they go together. Eventually we're all going to grieve someone, right?
Yes.
And and it's just it's fate. It's definitely something that we're going through. And he was married to my cousin Kristen, and Kristen passed away a few years ago, and so that was his soulmate. Definitely somebody, and somebody he truly cared for. And so on Wednesday we talk about love and grief, and he wrote a book. I wish I had it in front of me.
Hmm.
Um, and so with that podcast, we get deep down into what people are going through, and there's no one person has the right answers for grief. You have to do it and learn and listen and get through it as best you can, because there's no solution, there's no proper solution, but you got to understand that you're not alone. And so um, that's another podcast that I like, and it's picking up every single week. It seems to be grabbing enough people's attention, and
Yeah.
so um,
That's
when-
that's that's very that's very present,
mhm.
when you asked me in the beginning of our conversation about what inspires me and all that, I feel that I can add that up. Actually, in this last few years, what inspires me or what moves me is it's me dealing with my grief.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I take a look, my short movie and all the things that I pursue are are nothing more than me dealing with my grief of
Mm-hmm.
losing my grandfather. I
Yes.
lost my grandfather in 2016. I was trying to get ready for that loss. I was never ready for it. I
Mm-hmm.
still not, I still miss him. And but still I try to keep him present all the time, and I see how much of him is in me, and
Yes.
uh, and how much of his issues were passed down to me in a way, in many
Mm-hmm.
ways actually. And I see that in gestures, I see that in interests, I see that in the way I connect and I organize my relationship with the universe and with my own existence and my own issues myself. And so, how much of grief is us acting in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
From a place of grief, it can be also creative. You can also use it in that way. So you're doing a podcast, and people are pursuing different things because of the grief and because of all that comes with the grief, and it's very, how do you say, defining of us.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, we look forward to him and I coming on and talking to different people. Um, I happen to someone that I was seeing almost every week didn't realize that they were going through some grief, and I gotta kind of assume that that everyone's going through something, when it comes to grief.
Mhm. Totally.
And
Even if you're not aware of it, some people they will act from a place of not knowing, of the subconscious,
hmm
and they will act because of it, and sometimes they don't even know. And that is something that it really it is very defining of our culture. You know,
yes,
we have a very specific way of mourning. We have a very specific way of dealing with loss, and that is also very defining of our culture. Saudade. Mhm.
hmm
Saudade, morna, Paulo is saying. That's true.
hmm
That's true.
yes, it is. I'm gonna keep on reminding you about your children's book. Every few weeks, I'll send you a message,
I
and
will look. I'm looking forward to it. I really want to have it, like, when you have the idea and then you have it materialize in front of you.
hmm
I really want to hold it and smell it and see it. I'm
yeah,
really looking forward. I have. I just have to put like December behind me,
hmm
and then I will definitely dive into that. I'm very much taken until December, and actually January, until end of January. But then after that, for sure, I will dedicate myself to the book and also my new short movie. And also, I would like to invite everyone that is interested. My short movie is like a 5 minute short movie, and it is about my grandfather and my relationship with him, not him, but the way I look at him and the way I miss him.
hmm
And I have a link for whoever wants to watch it can just like reach out to me and I can send them the link. It has been in a few movie festivals. We just had a
mm
very nice international film festival in Cape Verde. That it's also very good to know, because what we want is to promote that, right?
yeah,
And my movie wasn't in it, but I was in the jury. So it is also important for our diaspora to know that we have many things going on regarding culture, and sometimes we don't do more because we don't have enough support. And when I say support, it's not even like financial support. Sometimes it's audience support, right?
Exactly.
Justified. Sometimes people don't know about it, so they don't watch it. So we don't have enough people engaging in our activities. And I think that that would be a must because there's a lot of us out there. And so it is good to know that if I'm doing short movies, they're like what I do, it's almost nothing compared to many other people that do. You know, I am from a collective. I belong to a collective of women that we work with cinema and audiovisual.
Hmm.
So it's all about supporting each other, and so we call Nyanya, and we work for the cinema for women and about women. So what we want the most is to offer our movies and to take the work that we have been doing to other places. So if they anyone feels like inviting or having us over, there's a lot of us out there working and doing things. I have a very good friend of mine, part of this collective that is Natasha Craveiro. She has done an amazing work and very much award-winning work with movies, with cinema,
Hmm.
real African cinema. She is part of the committee that organized this KAFUKA Film Festival that had movies from all over Africa, and very amazing quality of cinema that we have in Africa continent and in Cabo Verde too. So it is to be considered that, you know, we have amazing people doing literature, we have amazing people doing music, we have so much, not only the main ones, but people that sometimes you don't even heard about, and that they all they need is the support to get to be known.
Exactly. Um, Viewership is so important. So if we constantly share and view different things that you're doing and many others, that's so important. And they always say things. Oh, that's clickbait. That's clickbait. And but man, we need more people to click on some of the things we're doing. And yeah, putting a little like on something that you do, but sharing it is so important. And we talk about it a lot on this podcast. Sharing things that you do, I do, Paulo does, is real important. And along with many others, and this is something we started here. And Paulo put it in the comment section is one one Cabo Verde for the culture, and it's real important that we do that for a lot of things that you mentioned in this podcast. And so I'm hoping that we stay connected. We continue to support each other.
Yes.
Everyone that you mentioned, I want you to send them my way. In an email or in Messenger. I truly want to get connected with them because when someone like you tells me that they want to see someone on my podcast, it's real important. But it's also important for me to follow up and make sure that I make it happen. Um, so,
I will definitely send you the names. And there's
uh,
more. So I will send you more names and more than the ones that I mentioned here.
true. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, I'm gonna support everything you do. That the film that you did, I'm gonna actually look for that. And make sure that I share that, especially on the groups that I'm involved in, um, and discuss it. Your brother, I will reach out. I'm going to do everything that we talked about on this podcast. I'm going to make sure that I do it. And
I appreciate you so much, Charlie. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Paulo, for referring me. It's been a pleasure. I want to also thank everyone that has supported me throughout all this time. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my chosen family. Relatives not always they are family. So like the chosen family, and especially the ones that nourish me. I've
Mhm.
made a lot of very good friends throughout these years working with the Cape Verdean diaspora in the US, and very important connections, and they really built me. And I'm very grateful that they brought me this issue of my language and my heritage, and it was through them that I got to get more involved with it, and
Mhm.
it's such an important thing for me at this moment. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm very grateful to be in your podcast, in your company,
Thank
one of the nicest, calmest, very very easy to navigate in the conversation with you. So I really appreciate that, because sometimes you get like conversations that are
you.
can be
Mhm.
like fast paced,
Yeah,
and that's not really my approach. So I think we were in the same frequency, and that's
thank you.
that's something that I appreciate.
Um, I appreciate it, and that's one thing. Myself and my co-host Marvin Speller, we talk about frequencies and tones, and it's real, real important that I
Hmm.
put out the right tone and right frequency, so when I am speaking to someone um, as wonderful as you, and it really make sure that we're doing the right thing because
Yes,
people are viewing us, and but this is a conversation you and I would probably have if we were sitting in the same living room talking about it.
exactly,
We would
exactly.
have,
Felt like it.
yeah. So, but you please keep in touch. You are
Yeah.
inspiring many, many people, including me. And if
Thank
you
you.
ever need anything, please don't hesitate. Especially where you're abroad. Need something in the States, let me know. Let me
Okay.
know.
It's
And
difficult now to get there, but you
yeah,
know,
but
but I will definitely keep in touch. And once again, thank you very much for having me.
all right. Thank you. You're welcome. And 5 stars. I appreciate you. This will be on Spotify right after this, within an hour or so. And I'll download everything. I'll actually going to create some clips of our conversation. I'll share that. But electronic hug. I love you. Take care. And please, please keep in touch. All right. God
Okay.
bless.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Take
God
care.
bless.
Bye bye. All right. All right, everyone. Hey, that was a fabulous guest. I can't even, man, 5 stars, Apollo Paris. I appreciate you. Thank you. But Miss Duarte is crazy impressive. She's just definitely doing her thing. Can't wait to follow up. I'm going to continue to invite her when she has the time to come on board and talk with us about anything. See, she's creating a children's story. Can't wait. Children's book. That's going to be nice. She has her film. Her brother's involved in the Olympic team in Cabo Verde. So I'm going to get him, along with many, many others that she had mentioned. So we're definitely doing the right thing on the Really Charlie podcast. And please, please continue to support and subscribe to the Really Charlie podcast on YouTube. I really, really appreciate it. And anything you possibly need from me, you want someone on, let me know, and I will definitely reach out to them and get them on the podcast. Um, Man, that was a beautiful podcast. We cannot, you know what? 2025 in November 1st. She knocked it out of the park, and I am so, so happy that I got her on here. So, all right. Take care. We are going to end this podcast with my favorite podcast outro. Um, and I will see you guys probably next Tuesday. I'm going to get in touch with someone and we will have another podcast coming up. Take care. God bless and love you much. Viva Cabo Verde. Man, that was great. That was a great podcast.